Remember this? Channel 4's introduction to their coverage of Italian football, a piece of nostalgia now, but while this programme showcased one of the most glamorous leagues in world football, it's also important to remember that Italy's game has been plagued by a very serious problem for decades. To this day, Italy still has massive problems with racism, and in recent years bananas were thrown at the country's first black government minister, and a female councillor for the Northern League has said that she should be raped. A Northern League senator has also likened her to an orangutan. Racism and indeed fascism has long been rooted in Italian society, highlighted when Benito Mussolini was in charge of the National Fascist Party and Italy's Prime Minister from 1922 to 1943. During this time, Mussolini sought to strengthen the sense of nationalism in Italy by establishing a symbolic connection between his regime and ancient Rome. He made numerous comparisons between himself and Julius Caesar, the ancient Roman leader, although originally there were Jews in the National Fascist Party. But after 1938, under pressure from Hitler, Mussolini published the Manifesto of Race and banned Jews from public positions, and ultimately the purpose of nationalism was to unite the people of Italy behind their leader in his campaign against foreign enemies. As Italian racists and fascists look to continue Mussolini's legacy, there are two teams that highlight the differences in Italy's political landscape: Lazio and Livorno. To many, Lazio are seen as a club with the worst type of views, a far right-wing club with direct links to fascism. After all, it was the club that Mussolini supported. In 2016, a game between Lazio and Napoli was stopped because of racist chanting.
Qui essuyait aussi des chants racistes. Genre incroyable avec ses supporters de la Lazio. Et ce serait une balle à terre pour qu'on puisse reprendre le jeu. Et vous le voyez, vous le comprenez, pas besoin de traduire aussi.
UEFA's track record on dealing with racism is an issue that will always be debated, but in recent years their actions include fining Lazio £32,500 for the improper conduct of their supporters during the Europa League tie against Tottenham Hotspur at White Hart Lane. Loud monkey chanting from the away fans was directed at Jermaine Defoe, Aaron Lennon and Andros Townsend.
The Rome club was loved by Italian fascist leader Benito Mussolini, who built the Stadio Olimpico and used it to hold fascist rallies. While the club itself extols no political stance, several of the ultras groups who populate the Curva Nord hold the kind of neo-fascist political ideologies that are alarmingly popular with the young working class people in the city. Fines and stadium closures have been imposed on the club for racist behavior, while neo-Nazi banners have been frequently unfurled during games, including a 50-foot long one that read, "Auschwitz is your town, the ovens are your houses," during a derby with Roma, who have an association with a neighborhood that has Jewish population.
In modern times, one man has been at the centre of Lazio's racist traditions: Paolo Di Canio. Despite only playing for the club for 2 seasons and making 50 appearances, his actions will forever make him a Lazio legend and leave a bad taste in the mouth of Italian football. In 2005, he declared that he was a fascist and not a racist, and his use of the Roman salute towards Lazio supporters, a gesture adopted by Italian fascists in the 20th century, has created lots of controversy.
It's a straight question, though, you've said before that you're a fascist. Are you still a fascist?
Mr. Di Canio's cleared that one, he's answered that one. If we move on to football,
the Miners Association have, since that statement yesterday, have said that they
appreciate that, Dan, but we'll deal with that later.
Do you just have a message for the miners, Paolo? Can you understand their point of view?
Dan, if I can just stop you there, please.
Paolo
has already answered the question.
I said many words already. In the past, if you want to pick the words, not you, the past, the people are pick the word they wanted. I can't can't keep going talking about my life and my family, the value that my parents are giving to me, because the people that talking about in this way, they don't offend Paolo Di Canio. I don't accept that they offended my parents. I don't give the chance to anyone to offend my parents and to put in difficulty my daughter. So that's once forever. I want to talk about only football. If you want to talk about football, okay. Otherwise, we give time to the others to ask me something about my club, my new club.
The club at the opposite end of the political spectrum of Lazio, Livorno. The former Serie A side from Tuscany boasts a notoriously left-wing supporter base, and they often clash with right-wing teams such as Lazio and Hellas Verona. In 1921, the Italian Communist Party was founded in the diverse port city of Livorno, and left-wing motifs are frequently on show at the Stadio Armando Picci. Fans on their curva nord will often display flags and banners depicting Che Guevara, Fidel Castro, and Joseph Stalin while singing communist songs. Livorno have up to 10 different ultra groups, the most famous of which is Livornesi 99, who support charity fundraising projects and actively unite the like-minded fans of clubs like AEK Athens and Marseille to support left-wing causes. Their most famous member is Cristiano Lucarelli, who grew up in the city and ended up playing for them, becoming a Serie A top scorer in 2004 and 5. Lucarelli has the club crest tattooed on his arm, and he often turned down more lucrative deals from other clubs to stay with his beloved Livorno, where he lived and breathed their political message.
Livorno supporters and Celtic fans have been sympathetic with each other in the past, with both clubs having similar views on the political landscape. This song has been sung by both sides in the past. Livorno supporters sing anti-fascist songs, and this rendition coming from a priest during a service. Stefano Melegari is an Italian journalist who currently works for Panini and has worked for AC Milan in the past. We spoke to him to find out if racism and fascism really still is a problem in Italian football.
Is religion a big factor in Italian football?
Religion, yeah. It is not religion is in Italian football. It's more the contamination. It is correct. More contamination is coming from the political ideas of the people, and it's better to say, and sorry for this joke, that for in Italy, football is a religion. No, not an aspect that can contaminate the Italian football. Absolutely, it's more the political ideas coming from different ultras that can give some troubles in some aspects, and in some supporter of different teams. The political aspects that I told before is coming just from the ultras group, not from all the supporters. There is no political address coming from a team. For example, I may give you an example if I well explain you my idea. AC Milan. I'm a supporter of AC Milan, obviously. Was born in 1899, but there is no reason, no political influence. I can imagine that your question coming from the difference that you have in Scotland between Celtic and Rangers.
Yep.
That's correct. Okay, and there is nothing about this for the Italian teams and Italian football. Something like this, like Celtic and Rangers supporters.
Are the Lazio ultras as bad as media think?
Well, this is one of the problem. What's happened is there is the different aspects of the supporters that can be related for some events that create this supporter. We know that there is, for example, in Rome, there is a very difficult relationship between the supporters of Lazio and Roma, because also the Lazio supporters is more identified with the right political ideas. It's correct, and Rome in a different way.
What are the social backgrounds of Lazio and Livorno?
Social backgrounds?
Yeah, of Lazio and Livorno. Where do they come from?
Yeah, I don't know if there is so many. Probably is that. It's the same that I have told you before regarding Lazio and Rome supporters. Lazio right, and Livorno is definitely with left side of the political, and this is an aspect very important that probably create not good relationship between the two ultras group. And in the past also the Livorno supporters has create troubles, but they have the same problems when Livorno played in the first division in the Serie A, and they coming in Milan for a match against AC Milan, and I know that you well know that Berlusconi was the president of AC Milan, and this create troubles, as you can know. But and this was the problems that it was created.
So do you think are the mafia linked to some ultra groups?
Oh well, and this is another aspect, as I told you, that probably yes, because probably unfortunately yes, it's better to say there could be a problem with the mafia or something of the aspects. It's bad news for the supporters. Unfortunately, mafia or any other unlawyer problems are involved in this.
Do you think the media treat ultra groups fairly?
Well, we have always here in Italy some problems with the media. Some media have us more influenced by the clubs, by the economic properties. There is the media don't want to explain all the aspects and all the influence that the mafia or the supporters can create, but the ultras can create.
Have the Italian government introduced anything like the Offensive Behaviour Act to try and control fans in Italy, say ultra groups and?
Yeah, they made something in the past in the past years. they create a target that was named the Tessera del Tifoso. That more or less the translation could be fan card, and to give the possibility for the supporters to follow the teams outside in the away matches.
What are the public's opinion on ultras and those kind of fans in stadiums?
More or less, the aspect is that a large part of the ultras are all outlaws, outlaws people. It's not true. It's an aspect of the football, but what's happened in different cities, in different stadiums, has created these images of the ultras. Not something like legal, but something like unlegal outlaws,